Good afternoon, everybody. Happy 4th. I hope everybody has a good 4th of July. Whatever you're doing, just stay safe. I've been thinking about this past year or more, and I wanted to bring up a subject that might help a lot of people. It's something that I've never experienced before till now, about being a part of a community versus a toxic cult. Well, I met a lot of nice people, a lot of beautiful souls all this time, met a lot of good friends, and didn't see the warning signs. I guess, that's what happens when you get busy and you don't always tune into what's going on. It's about the little kid who's spinning, and then if you don't stop long enough to see what's going on, yeah, that's what happened basically to me. So, number one, red flags. Don't tell anybody. Don't be friends with this one. Also, too, the behavior changes. Now, right now, we're going through a lot of AI wars. So there's a lot of souls being taken by AI. And I'm not saying that this happened with this particular incident, person, whatever. I'm not mentioning names. But I will say that there was a lot of behavioral changes over time. And like I said, it actually happened pretty fast in a short amount of time towards the end. So they're big on separating you from your family. Okay, you got to have nothing to do with your kids. I mean, I love my kids. I would kill for my kids. So that's one. Don't talk to your friends. Just go ahead and unsubscribe from all of them. And also, too, they take your money. All of a sudden, your money is non-refundable. If a particular class I took, that I ended up getting kicked out and no refundable money for a stupid, ridiculous reason. But it was really a great thing that happened, because then I took a couple days. Now at this point, I didn't really have any friends left in this, community. And I say community because I took classes with these people. I got to know them and did a live event with them. And the main leader, call it, I don't want to, basically segregates you and segregates everybody from everybody. And the mind hacking, the mind, the mind control, the brainwashing, the siphoning, the handling. A few things were mentioned to me and I just never really saw it. Well, I did and I didn't. Until all of a sudden you start to feel sick. And you know something's wrong. But at this point, you're still believing that leader, let's say cult leader, but yet you're still questioning a little bit. And right now, there are big galactic wars going on. And also AI wars. And if anybody remembers Lemuria and Atlantis wars, I do. And that is playing out right now. So, never mind and it's playing out with the leaders and everything else. And I remember that I didn't use my power like I should have. I remember I tried to save everybody. And in doing so, I buried myself in that catastrophic Atlantean time. So is this something that is reoccurring? I feel like I've done this before. And now, I've stepped back. like I said, I didn't realize, I kind of joked about the handling thing, but when you really look at it, yeah. And I was treated like a bag of shit towards the end, and I didn't appreciate that either. Because I really looked up to this person. And I did learn a lot, but is a lot of that truth? I don't know. So it comes back to the self and listening to yourself. So when you wander away from self and your own soul and not listening to what's inside. I mean, I had a soul. This person did not have a soul all of a sudden. I don't know. That should have been a red flag there. So in that case, at that point, when I broke away, I didn't have any threats to my life. Some people have had that have a few that have broken away. For me, it took a couple of days to go, whoa, why didn't you see this? You know? And I had a real dear friend who's very dear to my heart reach out to me. He has his own channel, and if he's listening, he knows who he is. Again, I'm not going to mention names in the circumstance. And brought things to light about, you know, it's like we all are powerful. We all can fight this. But when you're in the midst of it and you don't really realize what's happening, it's mind-blowing when you step away. So if you don't take time to step away and look at the situations and see what's happening to you and around you, then you get lost in it. And I know some that are still lost in it. So it's really sad. And it's happening a lot. And it happens a lot. I mean, they've been going on, these cult things have been going on for, you know, for eons. I've never been a part of them. And before you know what I was, it was really heavily started that way. You know, get rid of your dog, you get rid of your kids, you can't, I even burned a lot of my family photos. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing, because at the time I did have a mental breakdown after I did it. My photos as a child and my brothers that were killed years ago, well, my kids never got to meet them. So I can see not hanging those around. Just because. But I went through and listened to and followed through with some of the things that I was told. And luckily I didn't keep going, because I would have been down a whole lot worse road. And at least I can say I have my soul. So, you know, it comes down to me trusting me, even when I'm also along with my good friend. He's very dear to my heart, and I said he has a channel also. A girlfriend of mine, when I started talking to her about it, she's like, Sharon, I felt like I couldn't say anything. And he said the same thing. You wouldn't have seen it. She said, oh my God, you're back to you. I don't know where I went, but I got pretty caught up in it and didn't even realize what was happening. So if you don't step back and really look at situations, you can get caught in them. And that's what happened to me when it got bad. And the things that were told to me that were horrific, to make me believe that about myself, were horrific. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. I mean, part of my mission here is to help people remember who they are. So what the hell was I doing in this mess? At least I got out of it. I learned from it, and I'm going to move on from it. But listen to yourself first. And that's the one thing that this person, trust yourself. But no, all of a sudden you got to turn and you got to trust them and everything they say, do everything they say. So just a red flag. I didn't want to make this a real long video, because I know I have a short attention span when it comes to long videos. I tend to not, I don't do well with long videos. So in other words, just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what you're into. Luckily, I felt like I couldn't call anybody. Like I said, I had no friends in this group left to contact. And the ones that decided to go and keep going unfriended me. So I really went down a deep dive and finally got a hold of one of the good friends who didn't fall for all of this, a couple of them, and they're sweet. They know who they are. And luckily, they understood. They understood, but I was afraid to call. I mean, you get this, don't call, don't have any contact with them. So therefore, you're afraid. I mean, it's the brainwashing, the mind washing, the handling, like I said. So just, if you're going to be involved in a group, and the one thing that wasn't liked was, by what I was told, was to end up in a cult. And this is exactly what happened and is happening now. So I'm just sharing this to maybe help others. I've had some that have reached out to me, and I will help. And I want to help because I had firsthand experience that I've never had before. So just be aware. Never, never, never steer away and trust a teacher, a leader, or anyone other than yourself first. That was a main thing. And I have been along this road and been involved in groups. I have been on this since the 80s, early 80s, maybe even before that. And I've never come across something like this before. Never. So anyway, I just thought I'd share this because I know it goes on, and try to stay away from it. Recognize it, realize you don't need it. There's something wrong with these people. It's power, greed, the money, the brainwashing, the control, the handling, the siphoning that happens to you, and a lot of them want to take your soul. So anyway, that's my thing I wanted to talk about, and hopefully it wasn't too long. I tried to get to the point as best I could. And I still have some healing to do, and part of it was talking about it. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. And thank you very much for listening. Alrighty, bye.